Hi guys, welcome to my channel and thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for clicking on this video. So guys, in this video I'll be showing you how to make a large quantity of Thom Browne. I have a Thom Browne video. I have a tutorial on how to make Thom Browne on this channel, but in that video I didn't make a large quantity of Thom Browne, and I also did not show you how to preserve the Thom Browne. So in this video I'll be showing you how to make a large quantity of Thom Browne and also how to preserve it, just in case you make your Thom Browne in large quantity so you can use it for months. I'll be showing you how to preserve that. I will also be answering questions that were asked on that video. Some people were asking me whether they can add fish, crayfish, unripe plantain, nuts to the Thom Browne. So in this video I'll be answering all of that. So if you're interested in knowing all that, please keep on watching. So I'll start by answering whether you can add crayfish to the cereal, and my answer is yes and no. Yes, only if you're the one that prepared and roasted the crayfish yourself. No, if you want to buy the crayfish from the market and add to your baby's Thom Browne. No, it is not advisable. Yes, crayfish is nutritious, but then you have to consider the conditions, or if you've ever been to the market, you see the way that crayfish is being kept, you will know that it is not something that you can just add to your baby's cereal, because flies perch on it, insects, a lot of things. It is not really so hygienic. Even when you buy it and pick out the dirt, you will not remove the things that the flies have perched on it. You won't be able to remove that. So that is my reason for not adding crayfish to that cereal. So I advise, if you know you're not roasting the crayfish yourself, if you're going to buy the crayfish from the market, please don't add it to your baby's cereal or pap. Just remove that from your baby's cereal. So the second question is whether you can add fish to the cereal, and the answer is yes. And again, it's also no. It depends on two things. Now, if you want to add fish to this cereal, make sure that you prepare the fish from scratch. You wash the fish, then roast in your oven. After roasting, you debone it. Make sure that you roast it to be dry enough, because this Thom Browne is mainly dry ingredient, and if something that is not dry is added to this Thom Browne, it can spoil it. So make sure that you dry this fish properly, so that when you add it to the Thom Browne, it will not spoil it. So that's the only way that you can add fish to this Thom Browne, because if you buy fish from the market, then again, you don't know how this person prepared the fish, you don't know how neat it is before adding it to your baby's food. So that's my own advice. Don't add fish that was not prepared by you to your baby's Thom Browne. So the next question I'll be answering is whether you can add nuts to this Thom Browne. Yes, you can add nuts to the Thom Browne, but then you should also know that some of the nuts have oil. Like I know for a fact that groundnuts has oil in it, and when you add groundnuts to this Thom Browne, it's going to add oil to the Thom Browne. So that means that you're not going to preserve this Thom Browne for a long time. But if you must make large quantity of Thom Browne with groundnut, then make sure to store it in the fridge 247 so it does not spoil, because the oil can make it damp and spoil. The next question is whether you can add unripe plantain to the Thom Browne, and the answer is yes, you can do that, but make sure that you did not sun dry the unripe plantain. You oven dry it to avoid flies perching on it, which is not good for the baby. Whatever thing you add to this Thom Browne, you make sure that you do not sun dry but oven dry. So even when you see the process of making this Thom Browne, which I'll be showing you now, you find out that we took so much care and made sure that we did not dry it under the sun. We dried it in a way that flies will not perch on it, which is very, very important. So guys, you can add anything you want to your Thom Browne, but just make sure that you don't sun dry it, you oven dry it. Make sure it is done hygienically. So guys, another reason why I did not add all these things, fish and unripe plantain and nuts, to my cereal is because the Thom Browne is not my baby's major food. With my first child, I was almost pureeing everything for him. I would always, mash fish, puree rice and fish, rice and meat, give to him. And when he was about 8 months to 1 year, it was hard for him to accept eating all those things in the normal state. So what I do now, once my babies are 6 months, I start giving them whatever things we eat at home. I give them fish and meat without having to puree them or anything. So I didn't think it was necessary to add that to my baby's cereal, since she was already taking fish, rice, beans, every other thing. So the Thom Browne was like an additional meal for her. So let's just say she ate rice in the morning and I feel like she didn't really take much. I can make a little Thom Browne to get her full. I don't know if that makes sense. So the Thom Browne was not a major food for her. But if you know that the Thom Browne is going to be your baby's major food, maybe that your baby does not take any other thing except something that is in the state of a cereal, okay, then you can go ahead to add a lot of things that you want, so that it will be highly nutritious. So I didn't bother because my baby was already taking a lot of other things. Even she was eating basically everything we were eating at home. So the Thom Browne was just like an additional meal for her. So guys, I hope I've answered all your questions. If you have any more questions, please drop it in the comment section and I'll be there to answer you. Now that I think I've even rambled too much. Now that I've talked enough, let me quickly show you how to make the Thom Browne in large quantity. I have already made a Thom Browne video, but just that I just want to show you how to preserve and dry it properly. So guys, another thing I just remembered now, in my previous video, I added soybeans to the Thom Browne that I made, but I did not add it from the beginning of the preparation. This is because the process of getting Thom Browne ready for a baby to eat is totally different from the process of getting these other items ready. So in another video, I'll be showing you how to prepare your soybeans to reduce the anti-nutrients before giving it to your baby. So that is why I normally prepare the soybeans separately and prepare this cereal separately. Then later on, at the time that I want to cook it, I now add the soybean. I now mix it together with the soybeans. So now that I've showed you all that, now that I've said all that, let's start making the Thom Browne already. I said in my first video that you can use equal quantities of this corn, rice, millet, and guinea corn, but it does not matter. You can use whichever one you want most in your cereal. The oat is not here because we don't need the oat now. So in here I have the guinea corn, the corn, and the millet. The millet is down. I have the millet. So I have the three of them already cleaned, properly cleaned. Washing this is compulsory. Please make sure you wash it and allow it to dry before roasting. So let me go to the tap now and quickly wash it. I did not add the rice because I'm using a parboiled rice. This is the rice here. I'll add it lastly. After, I'll wash the rice separately because the rice does not really need too much washing, but these ones need thorough washing. So I'll wash these ones first, then wash the rice separately, then mix it all together. So let me take this to the tap now. So you wash until the water is clean and white like this. So now I'll wash the rice so I can mix it with this. So there are two ways you can dry this. As I said earlier, you can either dry it in the oven or allow it to dry with natural air. So I have sieves here and I'll be putting it in the sieves. Notice I'm doing this inside the house, I'm not outside, because now I'm going to dry it and I'll let the natural air in the house dry it. So like this now, you can see water is still coming out from it. So I'll put this in a bowl. So that the water can leave the grains, as you can see. So I'll just set this one side. So I'll put it in like as many sieves as this can contain. I'll show you. So guys, I've put the grains in my 4 sieves. I have 4 sieves, as you can see, and then the remaining one I put it in these 2 trays. Dry your own with whichever thing you have at home. In these sieves, they will still dry because all the water in the grains will just find its way out of the sieve, and after that it will be dry enough for you to roast. So I'll leave this for some hours. As you can see, let me just show you example of what I'm saying. See water coming out from it. So this is how I dry my own. But if you have a very big tray, you can just spread everything on one tray and then let it dry. This is a big batch, so that is why all of it cannot enter one tray. So I'll let this dry for some hours and then I'll be right back. So guys, this is just about 2 hours, not even up to 2 hours, an hour, and it is already dried. Can you see? So because they are grains, they will dry easily. So I will now take this into the kitchen and start roasting. So let me take you guys along. Let me show you how to roast it. So depending on the size of your Thom Browne, you might need to roast up to 4 or 5 times. So I already have a detailed video of how to roast it, which I will link in the description, the first Thom Browne video. So I won't be doing much. So but just know that you're going to roast until the corns look properly roasted, and the rice will be so soft that you can cut it with your fingernails. the rice will be so soft that when you just cut it, it will cut into two, and the guinea corn will slightly change the color, even the millet will change color. So I will show you guys when I'm done roasting, because this will take time. So let me quickly do that and show you what next to do. Guys, this is the next day and it has cooled down properly and it is dry. So normally on a good day, after roasting it and putting it in a plate like this, there will now be heat under, like the heat from the hotness of these grains will just produce water, and if you blend it like that, it will not be so dry. So that's one of the things that makes it spoil. So I now decided that I'll be leaving it overnight so it will dry properly. So can you see that it is properly dry? There is no heat again. There is nothing. Normally yesterday I saw heat here, I saw water, heat from the hotness of the grains. So now it is properly dried. So I'll be adding oats to it now. You can use any brand of oats, but this is what I'm using today. Quick oats, quick white oats. So I'll open it up and mix. Make sure your hands are neat. So the oats gives a very good aroma, plus the fact that the grains already smell so good. They smell like roasted corn, a very sweet roasted corn. It smells so good. So I'll mix almost everything. So depending on the quantity of the grains you're using for your cereal, that will determine the quantity of oats you add. Like I use more than half of a bucket, but not up to a bucket. Let me say 3/4 of a bucket of corn, millet, and guinea corn. That was what I used, and rice. So now that is why I'm going to be using 2 of these oats. If I will even remain anything, it will be just small. So but a tip is when you pour the oats and you can see the oats in each grain, like when you pack grains, you see enough oats in your hand, then you know that it's fine. So I'll mix this one, and then because I want to grind this in the market, I won't be able to grind this at home. This is a large quantity and I won't be able to grind at home. So I'll put this in a bag and take to the market, and after grinding I'll show you. So guys, this is all of them. It's all in 3 bags. I'll take it to the market and grind. I just left little oats. What I left is just little like this. So I'll take this to the market and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. So guys, I have finished grinding it. Can you see how it looks? So now I'll let this dry a bit, because I noticed that there was a little bit of heat in the bag after grinding it. Sometimes the hotness from the cereal produces heat into the bag. So I'll let that dry, and after that I'll put it into containers and store in a cupboard, in a cool cupboard, or you can store in the fridge or in the freezer, whichever way you want. But make sure that you're storing it very dry. If not, it will spoil after some time. But if it's in the fridge or in the freezer, it will not spoil at all. So babies can take this, adults can take this. It is a weight gaining food. Make sure you try this the same way. So I have a detailed video where I showed how to make this cereal, which I'll be linking in the description box. So if you want to know how to make this, check out that first Tom Brown video. So thank you so much guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.